Hello everyone, this is AmberAnkNA here. Welcome to my channel. Well, I play a variety of games and do narrations for fanfics. I'm really hoping you enjoy my content. If you do, make sure to comment below, leave a like, and subscribe with the notifications on. Right, until next time, this is AmberAnkNA. Welcome to my channel. So, hi. The only reason now, after 11, are of future past. Ash dropped onto her knees and crossed her hands in front of her chest, kissing each interlocked finger so hard her knuckles began turning white. She held on tightly and did something she had rarely done before. I don't do this much, but we take all the help we can get. She whispered as she whipped away several newly formed tails, promising herself she would damp the threatening delude. Scotty vanished inside the future window. Phil began to follow in Master's mind, sending flowing waves of doubt through her head. Dear God, oh God, whoever is listening, please protect my Chloe. I never asked you for anything. I never asked for anything again, but please save our daughter and bring my soulmate back to me. Before we were even born, we were predestined to be together one way or another. She came into my life when we were kids, and she brought me hope. She filled me with joy and became so much more than my best friend. She's my everything. Maybe we were behind for 5 years, and my biggest regret. Our bond was so strong we wouldn't stay apart, though. We were connected, it came with a fuck up cost. Yet, no matter what happened, we were together. It's all that mattered. Now we're on our greatest journey of our lives. I'm scared to death. I can't lose her. God, she and I are one. Chloe is my reason for living. She's the hope in my heart and the love in my soul. Love means nothing without her. You might as well take me if you take her right away. Please, I'm begging you. Don't take her. Bring that girl back to me. That's all I ask. Amen. So ended the prayer how she thought she was supposed to. Immediately, her only experience with talking to God came because she knew Kate Moss from Blackwell Academy. She overheard her prayers on several occasions when they dormed together a few years back. An pulling girl considered walking from the dream space and using a photo to jump back, but with Rachel now gone, and not knowing what would happen to the future windows, she didn't think it was the best idea to awaken just yet. If Chloe somehow got stuck because she woke up, she would never forgive herself. The best thing she could do was trust the universe to bring the most important person in her life back to her. The girl slid from her crouching position and approached the window, releasing the gift from her own hands. She remembered learning that time doesn't exist in the dream space, so whatever was going to happen in that moment had already taken place. At least that's what she assumed. I have to try something. Not whispered to nobody. I can't just stay here in this space and do nothing. She considered wandering around and looking at through the windows, but her only concern was the one that Chloe disappeared into. She closed her eyes and located the chirpy white spot and pressed down. A rotating beam spiraled out from her hand and struck the gray opening. It powered the window momentarily, causing it to flicker in a neighboring yellow, then dimmed back to a darkened hue. As long as the window still existed, her hope would not delude him. But she still felt like there was something more she should do. The brunette took a deep breath, puffed her chest, and unplugged the power a second time. The oval opening flashed and then lit up again, but the scene did not return. After she plugged the power, she realized the boom didn't gray out this time as it had before. It was like she half closed it with her power, and all that remained was a second half of fast-forwarding power for a full recharge. Then she realized she had accomplished all she could. The next step wasn't up to her. It was the first time in a while she felt completely powerless. Her heart was still filled with hope as she sat down in front of the window and grabbed her knees. Chloe's public would be to save their daughter, and Max knew her role was due to being the girl's cheerleader, which was absolutely fine as long as their perfect person came back. Like swimming through a vibrant pool of melted metal, Chloe wasn't sure where she was going, but kept paddling with her arms and knees kicking forward. A brief, uncontrolled moment of horror washed through the girl's body when she realized she was unable to breathe. Suddenly, she found herself forced forward and was standing in the hospital room that she saw through the window moments earlier. Luckily, no nurses or doctors were present to witness the impossible event. That didn't mean she went unnoticed, however, given the disguise works from the two girls operating the suit. Max and Chloe, with eyes wide, swimmingly in astonishment, stared back at her in silence. The pregnant girl was under the seats with only her head and arms visible, while her wife stood by her side, apparently ready to fight if it became necessary. Looking to her right, she saw the hospital room door halfway open. The suspicious man was standing in the hall, peering aside with a look of turbitude and malcontent. Noticing the blue-haired girl looking in his direction, he muttered something under his breath. Sounds like the words abomination and devil child, but Chloe wasn't completely certain. You want to remember what he says here, basically. The girl from the past considered for a moment and came to a work realization. Shit, that's it. Motherfucker. I need to make sure his psycho religious ass doesn't find out about them. She could only imagine the bastard's next goals. He would seek them out and follow them for a couple of years until he found some sort of proof about the daughter. Then he or one of his cult followers would snipe them while they were out having a lovely day together. Piece of fucking shit. St. Mary flipped the earth stake and heard the future widow buzz with a lately higher electric sounding says. From the emotional moment of seeing her future self through the mask, and in looking mask, she didn't notice the opening had vanished until it returned momentarily with a new golden lamp charge. It quickly vanished. Sarah's mask had rewound to a few seconds earlier, and the man in the robe hadn't come by the room yet. Apparently, this time, Max and Corey hadn't detected her presence yet either. They were discussing the time that they merged into one and conceived a daughter. Well, the sperm needed for a typical consumption. He was probably joking about not needing a man and that the love defined science and religion. Per usual, when the girls were focused on one another, the television broke most everything else out. The man returned and started watching and listening through the open door. When she noticed him again, he muttered something about the kid being abomination. It was a child creature from the devil's lair that needed to be eliminated. Of course, it's always her mission to prevent the man from hearing the words said by Mass and the other Cory would need one more rewind in order to have a chance at fixing the scenario. So he hoped poor Mass could see what was happening, but soon not because of the great window. Suddenly, another earth-moving jolt struck the girl, and the scene had been rewound to several minutes earlier. Yet again, "Thanks, Mass," she whispered, feeling the deep connection streaming through her veins and deep into her heart. A sense of urgency took over as she grew the girl's attention. "No time to explain. I'm Corey from the past. Do not mention everything about how you two conceived. It's bad news. We had it." She walked over to the door and stuck her head out. There was a group of men in robes going door to door, blessing the births of newborn children. The man she saw was in the middle with the double skulls. Stepping out and shutting the door behind her, Corey greeted the man as he walked up. Doubling up close and right in front of him, she noticed he was several inches taller than herself and had a stony asperity look in his eyes. He was almost as wise as he was tall and basically dwarfed the girl. His dark features helped to amplify the girl's frail and anxiousness. "Sure," she gently spoke. "You can't go in there. The parents are, praying, and they requested complete privacy. You understand?" Using her best business smile, she hoped she had convinced him to keep moving. The man straightened and looked down his nose at the girl's blue hair. "Seems all is in order. Seems all is in order here," he responded, carefully standing and examining her with his eyes. He held his large arm over his head and adjusted the door in between. "These yarded for all things." His accent was noticeable, but she couldn't quite place it. "No idea what he said, though. I'm sorry." "Yeah, no clue. Google? I'm gonna get Google in here." Former Hebrew name of God used in the Bible, the name came to be regarded by Jewish people as a true shield to peace when the vowel sounds are uncertain. What? Oh, Yahweh. Praise to Yahweh. Praise Yahweh for all things. Oh, Yahweh. Yahweh. 8 o'clock, Yahweh. Please ask me a word. Wow. Boy. Yeah, I agree with what Corey's saying here. Yeah. Praise Yah, way. Seriously was convincing enough for the burly man to not be alarmed and just keep walking. He lowered his arms and looked back at the girl. The silver struck up and stood behind and beside him. They stared in silence as he breathed or two of sweat first through the pores on Corey's head. The man turned and began storming down the hall with his frock following closely behind. She noticed him look back over his shoulder before advancing inside the next room. Slowly opening and backing into the girl's room, Corey shut the door and pushed the couple. For the first time, she got a real good look at the lovers. The brunette was fully pregnant and radiating beautiful. She looked as lively as ever. The pregnant girl's partner was letting the blue fade out of her hair, and the sorry blonde was pressing through, making it pale mostly green below the roots. It reminded her of the yellow following the storm week, and she slightly resisted the feelings that came with the memories. If not for Mass's love during that time to help her cleanse the pain away, she knew she would have been lost. It looked the other way as well. Her love for her future photographer kept the girl sane, especially as the nightmares began to increase. Damn, that blue was really good on you. I kind of miss it. Kind of don't too. The green-haired girl spoke first, and opening the brief silence that fell amongst the group. So, tell us why you're here. She wasn't rude about the question, though it might have appeared that way to anyone else. She knew herself, and she understood her future self's intention behind the get-to-the-point mentality. So, from my understanding, the girl with blue hair secretly replied, "This is a potential future by mass and I could sail. It would be one of the happiest moments of our lives." She had never spoken to herself before, and speaking to the door at the same time was very intimidating. "I am here to prevent something horrible from happening in your future, and our future. My purpose is to save that little girl getting away the pop from Master's belly. I'm pretty sure this took care of a big part of it." Master sat up on the hospital bed and propped on her elbows behind her. "Do we want to know what you did? Would it even matter?" Hoylock eyes what the brown-haired future muttered. Even as it's rowdy, the connection felt electric and nearly overwhelming. It was tough to look away, though she knew she needed to complete her mission. Waking from the ground, she whispered, "I don't think specific matters, but you do need to realize what that child represents. Her existence will be questioned for the rest of her life by religious folks who are not quite as progressive unless you keep her origin quiet. Do not discuss how she was deceived, like ever. It will only bring bad fucking things your way. Our way." Polly watches the girls look at each other and mumble something she couldn't hear. "We understand. Now, imagine you need to get back." That's comedy with that cute, toothy grin she loves so much. "Don't keep her waiting, though. Since your mess is technically me, you probably know I would wait forever for you." She watched as the girls kissed each other, and she could feel the power surging for their connection. "God damn," the brunette responded. We so fucking lucky we found each other." "You mean it's destiny?" The version of herself replied while Terry Willie Mustard's belly she contentedly grinned. The blue-headed girl strode up to the hospital bed and settled down in awe at the bump where the little girl was making her home for what couldn't be much longer. "Do you mind?" she asked, walking back and forth from one pale, away blue eyes to the other. The girl struck their heads, confirming it was okay, and Corey bent down and kissed Master's beautiful, big, beautiful belly. "We love you so much and can't wait to meet you," she expressed with her palm gently flat on her brunette stomach. "Hey!" Her future called out in their direction. Corey raised her head up to give the girl with faded gray in her forehead. "Taking care of yourself is more important now than ever, but taking care of this one?" She bobbed her head towards her glorious freckled bride. "It's the most important thing in your life. As long as she's happy, nothing else matters." She balled her fist and extended her arm. The blue-haired girl extended her arm in the same manner and quickly bumped fists as a sign of respect and understanding. "Damn, Sippy! Am I perfect from here on out? Now, I don't know exactly how this is supposed to work, but I gotta go through that window. Good luck with the birth, and please don't fuck anything up. This is the last time you have me to save your ashes." Is that really what I sound like? The girl beside the hospital bed asked with a playful, sour look on her face. "Yep." Mask giggled. Please don't change. I love that about you. Always a pirate. Always a punk. Always my perfect person. With a heartfelt, griffy grin, Chloe turned away from the couple and stepped back up to the window. She placed her arm on the side surface and pressed for the safe spot. Facing over the endless periods of gray, she quickly arrived at her destination. Unplugging the pulse, reality began to speed past and bend around her. The power didn't function the same in the real world as it did in the dream space. But I properly charged the window, causing bubble liquid like ripples to appear. A shattering white light spread out as it had before, and she knew it was time for departure. Before leaving, she heard the amazing life-announcing sounds of her future life's screams, but didn't dare turn around. Bye, bitches! The fast forwarder called out. She chuckled before diving in, disappearing through the melted metal. Ooh. Future Mass was about to get buffed. Ooh. From the ground where she was standing, she felt the residential energy of a distant fast forward. The earth shook and she ungrasped her hands from around her knees to establish a sort of balance. Both palms hit the floor beside her to try and steady the stickiness. The earthquake-like effect worn off and Max moved herself to a more light, attentive sitting position. She could see a half-dozen other windows they hadn't viewed yet to the side and in the distance. But waiting for maybe 10 more seconds, Max noticed two of the remaining windows going brightly, then fading down to the original stars. So we laid her knees in search to get a better view. Forgetting though, she couldn't discern what had happened, but she realized details about the scenes had just adjusted, opening windows to happy moments in the future. Max wasn't sure if it was a good thing or a bad thing that they had changed. But what it did mean, though, is Chloe had completed her mission. The little partner had vanished inside, begun vibrating and simmering with violent radiance. Yes! The brunette shouted, knowing she was about to see the love of her life again. And though it hadn't been very long for her, she worries her fiance might have been in the future for considerably longer than she knew. Opening all the sea through its depths, Mouse spread as deeply as she could into the waves and murky molten metal inside the window's rim. Where is she? The girl wandered around, eyes darting back and forth in search of her fiance. She peered into the opening like a train coming down the tracks. She saw a tiny dark object swiftly increasing in size. Finally, the unpulsing object could be seen with a sharp clarity. It was the goal of her dreams, kicking and paddling her way back. The onlooker stepped sideways to give the incoming girl some room, and upon reaching the exit point, her outstretched arm cleared the pain person, hung outward towards the mast. She sat forward and gripped her hands around the girl's wrist. Leaning backwards, using most of her strength, she pulled her best friend out and into the dream space. The turning girl landed on top of her soulmate, who fell backwards into the dark ground. Well, hey, sissy! Chloe waggled her eyebrows at the empty girl behind her. You smell lovely! She was frankly kissing her back as she buried her face into the brown-haired girl's shoulder and neck area. You're back! Placing both palms on opposite sides of the girl's head, she tilted her back and slid her mouth across her best friend's tender lips. It felt like an eternity since they had kissed, and Max knew this was the moment they had been fighting for. I missed you so much! It wasn't an overly passionate kiss, but it was filled with relief and maturity. The words didn't need to be said. Both girls knew the future was now changed to one of joy and happiness. There would be disagreements and struggles along the way, but the daughter would be safe, and they would be able to hold each other until old age came to sort them into the next reality. Nothing was more important than the moment they were clearly sharing. The past couple of days were rough in many ways. Now they could focus on one another in the more intimate future. Mask had questions about what had all happened as he wasn't able to witness the events of the future. But for now, all she wanted to do was hold her fiancé, her perfect person, her best friend, her soulmate, her lover, the light in her soul, her beacon through the darkness, her reason for living. After a while, the girls released each other and decided to make their way back to the far end of the warehouse where the light cows remained. It was the only object in the dream space besides the two of them in the future windows. Few words were exchanged on the walk, but the girls nudged and gently pushed each other around, being playful and mysterious while enjoying being near each other again. They were Max and Chloe and had just stared down yet another challenge. Another possibility was made possible because of their love. Nothing could get in their way and nothing would keep them apart. They sat on the couch and Chloe laid her head on her partner's lap, stretching her legs across the span of the overstuffed cushions. "I love you, babe," Max slowly stated while looking down at her favorite person. She ran her fingers through soft blue hair and couldn't stop staring into her glorious eyes. "I love you too, Maximus." Exhilaration surged through the girls' bodies. At the deepest level, while walked in and focused on one another. It was as if they shared the same mind and heart, and existed at a level beyond the discernible world. Without words, Joel agreed and closed their eyes. A tremor branched outward from the girls' tender souls, sending them from the dream state back to the camera where their physical bodies remained. Master's eyes opened first, and she saw her future wife laying beside her with an enjoying grin on her face. It was such a beautiful sight that part of her wanted to grab a camera to capture the moment for posterity purposes, but it was the moment she would never forget. No photo was needed, as the picture in her mind would remain for all eternity, just like the poor love she shared with her perfect person. That's basically the chapter for saving the daughter. Well, we got more. We got more. We got 5 more chapters. 5 more until we're done with this one. Then we got the very next story, which is basically the last chapter of this arc. Last story of this arc. We got the next arc, which is very more exciting. So, yay! Hi everyone. This is Emma 2000 again. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Because, I really did enjoy making it. But, so I hope you enjoyed it. Comment, like, and subscribe with the notifications on down below. Till next time, bye!